And I get up to, yeah. Um, like I said, the Filipino martial arts were introduced to me by Herb April. He brought the stuff back from California when his brief time there. He picked up from Richard Bustillo and Danny Santo, working out there, training for a brief time with them. He was lucky enough to get a few lessons from John LaCosta, and LaCosta even offered to teach Herb as his student, but money was short and he didn't have enough funds to stay in California. That's why he didn't stay. Otherwise, we would have a lot of LaCosta stuff in what we do. We have, I don't know how much we have, but he showed Herb some things and Herb passed it on to us. But Herb said in the numbering system, all systems have a numbering system. Most, I'd say 95 to 99% of them have basically the same system as far as numbering. By that, when I say the 95 to 99, the first 5 angles are the same. They may have changed the others, but the numbering system that we were given was this. So angle 1 is from the right side, angling down diagonal. 2, left, down this way. The 3 from the waist, this way. 4, this is a stab, by the way. 4 is coming back out this way, and back around this way. 5, forward this way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop back. 11, coming up this way, and 12. So Herb said, if you understand the first 5, which is 1, 2, just quickly, 3, 4, 5, you can block the next 7, because there's usually reverses or on that same angle as the first 5. All right? So we've got a 1. I came back with another one this way. So that's the reverse of this, right? This motion, this line travels this way. It goes this way. It doesn't just go one way. You can go back up that way too, right? So if you can block this line, you can block it going this way or this way, up or down. Same thing with this with number 2. It's coming this way, right? Right. I'm sorry. It's coming here diagonally, right? The 3 is coming this way. And the 4, a classic 4 is here, right? But it comes around this way because it rolls into a 5. And you don't want this where somebody can see the knife isn't here or the stick isn't here. It should be back here where they can't see it, right? And as you're coming forward, that's when they see it, right? Too late, right? 6, okay, so 6 is on that one side. Remember, it's coming from this side. So how would I deal with the 1? I could do what Herb called an inside sweep, crossover. I'm just using the terms he used, all right? Or roof block, all right? Against the 2, I can do an outside sweep, hang block. Let's see what else I do. I'm thinking here. But he gave us about 3 defenses for each move. But again, if you can go 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. The others, like I said, this is 6. That's on the same side as 1. It's almost on the same angle, but it's a stabbing motion here. So if I'm going to block a 1, somebody's going to, with an inside sweep, I can block that 6 the same way. 7 is coming off the same angle as a 2. The 2 comes this way. You just reverse the hand, you're coming back this way. It's in tighter because you're going 6, 7. 2 is this way. But it's still, it's here, and these are stabbing motions in the system the numbering system that I got from Herb. So, and the same thing with empty-handed. Empty-handed motions, he said, it's basically the same thing. So Herb didn't know any of the forms. He saw some of them done, he said, by Lacosta and some of the other Filipinos that he didn't remember who they were, but he did see them. He said they were beautiful. He liked them, but he never really got a chance to learn them and practice them. But we practiced that type of stuff, and yeah, okay, here's one of those asides. This is one of those Mike Lee moments where you go off on another tangent. The first time I saw Filipino martial arts, I was doing before my accident, before I met Herb. I was doing karate and aikido, and there was a guy who was an X-ray tech, Filipino X-ray tech, where I worked at the University of Illinois. His name was Ed Kabansik. Ed, I know Ed moved to California, but Ed taught Arnis. He called it Arnis. Those terms are interchangeable for me, but I know there is a difference to people, purists, Kali, Arnis, Eskrima. For purists, yeah, there's a difference, but they all collectively Filipino martial arts, right? So I'm doing karate, and I'm talking to him. He said, "Oh, I did Arnis back in the Philippines, and have you heard about Arnis? I've seen a couple articles in Black Belt magazine or something, but didn't know anything about it." He says, "Oh, with the stick and a knife and blah blah blah." And the stuff he did was they blended it with the way he learned it. It was blended with combat judo. Okay, so they would get in with the stick or the knife, but they would throw you and put you in a disadvantageous position where you're gonna get stabbed or hit with a knife or thrown, right? But or some sort of joint lock, and then you're impaling yourself on a knife or that sort of thing. So long story short, and I didn't know. I mean, I understood kobudo or weapons as a weapon as a weapon, right? But I had never been exposed to just picking up anything. Oh wait, let me take that back, because I did on the West Side. Yeah, pick up anything and use it. Yeah, as a weapon, I've done that. I can tell you some other stories another time about that stuff too. But the Filipinos were very adept at this, right? So Kabansik says, "Oh, well, what do you do?" I said, "I do karate." So he said, "Okay, well, show me what you do." I said, "Okay, fine." So I drive back, and I'm going to come in with a boom, lunge punch. Form was a lot better there because I was I was younger, and I'm in a good forward-leaning stance and stuff. So he picked up. He said, "Oh, well, that's cool." He says, "So I said, let me show you what we would do." So he picked up a magazine. Newspaper or something. I think it was a newspaper. He picked it up, he rolled it up, and he said, "Okay, I want you to attack me." So I said, "Okay, fine." I'm figuring. He said, "No, really attack me." I said, before I got to here, he went, BAM! And I got hit like 5 or 6 times before I got the fist all the way out. It was here. It wasn't extended. He hit me BAM! On my arm, on my chest, on my head a couple times. He did abanico on my head a couple times. And my mouth flew open. So later on, I met Herb, and he said, Kabansik, his system, like I said, was based on knife fighting and combat judo. His blocking system, they were here. I don't know what the style it was, but he was here. It was sort of like a box. He said so it's here, 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 and here. Okay, so it was 4 corners, right? And he showed me quickly how he did that. So I meet Herb, work with him, and I told him what happened, before I met him with Kabansik, and I was still at the U of I, and Herb was showing me some stuff with the Filipino stuff. So he said, "Well, if you understand it," that's what he told me stuff about. He always said that in each class he taught this. He taught the Wing Chun Do, and he was starting to work with Jesse stuff. He was corresponding with Jesse. And Jesse was sharing more of his stuff with him at the time. Not that I didn't correspond with Jesse. I was corresponding also with Jesse, but he had, was loaning Herb the Super 8 films he had of stuff. I didn't even ask Jesse that stuff. I didn't know it existed. And I didn't think that'd be too personal for me to ask. I didn't know him like that at the time. We were corresponding. We were friends. Had developed a friendship. But anyway, long story short, Um,